Well, hello.
Wow, hi.
This is Tom and Heather from Shadowfields, and this is Monday in the studio.
Monday in the studio. Please like, subscribe to our channel and share, like, and also click on that notification bell to stay connected to every time we go live. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony. What do you got to drink tonight, Tony? I should really
I think
go
a
get
hot
something.
cocoa. Oh, no, we don't have time for that. We're
Mhm.
done.
Well,
I'm going to be on
we
my
have the
best.
usual.
I'll be on my best behavior tonight because apparently I'm supposed to be interviewed.
Yes.
I thought this was a cooking show. Like, then I could have went, oh, look what you're making. And then when you were making
maybe we
things,
can
I
have
could eat like the Cheez-Its and whatever else you'd be making.
I'll bring in like a
the
little
dip and
stove
stuff.
that we have right behind us that you
Yeah.
cook at, and then you can bring it out and we'll start like this whole
Hi, Dave
thing.
and Shirley.
Hi, guys.
I would love that. And then, I'd be like waiting for it to come out of the oven. I'd be the first one to go to the oven to get whatever you made. And then I would taste it first. So I could be the taste tester of anything that you made.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, this is not a cooking show.
Oh, a bourbon
and Sprite.
Oh, very nice.
Would you have a
nice.
twist of lemon in that at all? Like just something that was kind of like a spritzy kind of thing? Did you have anything like that?
Spritzy kind of thing.
Well, he's having a Sprite, which is sparkly, but then the bourbon would be kind of a little bit more harsh. But if you put something lemon in it, I thought this was a cooking show.
Well, surprise.
Surprise. All right.
Surprise.
Are we going to clean shoes?
No. Only you watch people cleaning shoes. How can you spend your time watching people clean shoes?
Well, I've only done it a couple times. It's fascinating. I wish we had something like maybe we could clean microphones.
I don't know how I got onto this, but one time I did watch a video of a guy trimming hoofs.
And see? I know. And it's such a really there's like Miss Pimple Popper.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
But cleaning a hoof has got to be so satisfying because this horse is got all of this dirt and mud and potentially rocks and stuff.
That's not my usual things though. Usually it's like mandolin building and instrument repair.
That would be fascinating too. Like if you were actually a luthier and you could make an instrument.
I like watching people take something from nothing. Oh, also like the guys that take like metal things like, hey, I found this old revolver from the 1800s. It's all rusty, and how they refurbish it. They get rid of all the rust. They are able to figure out how to get the thing apart and then get it back together again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. Like this piece of it just looks like a pile of rust, and then they can just get this thing back to
We got to find our niche. You know what I mean?
I thought it was music, but apparently not. Apparently not.
Yes. So So how's things in the studio this week?
Very, very,
busy.
Very, very busy.
Yes, very true.
As Dave and Shirley know, we're very, very busy.
Yeah, we're working on Dave's songs now.
Yes, we're back in that.
We're pivoting.
We've been really, really busy.
Mm-hmm.
You're good at restoring cast iron.
Restoring it or just seasoning?
You have to. Well, are you talking like maybe he's talking like a grill or something like that,
He probably is. Is this like cast iron in your smoker?
Anyway, it's been a very busy week. Since last week, we've had multiple people in the studio, I believe.
It's kind of hard to remember, but
I know
at the end game as of tonight, we'll have sent out 2 final mixes to 2 in our community studio that we're working with and moving them on to the mastering engineer. So that's exciting. That's super exciting. I love that. And to encourage people, one of the people that we sent out the final mix to, I've never seen this before. They said, magnificent.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yes.
That was nice.
So to have your, the community members be happy.
It's such a long time.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
on both of these songs. By the time on these two that we're on right now, I started keeping track where I actually have a timer
Hmm.
in the program. So when I'm working, as long as I'm doing something, playing back something, um, it goes by the playback.
Hmm. So one was 23 hours. I know that one
That
is,
was
yeah.
that was before I did more. So
Hmm.
we're averaging like 25 hours per song to
Hmm.
get these things out the door.
Yeah.
And so it is really time consuming.
Right.
Um, and I know, for Dave, we've got 4 songs
Hmm.
and they're pretty far along, but they're not at final mix stage yet.
Right. Right.
I want to tweak some more stuff.
Yeah.
And
But you can tell them about my great project planning. It's even color coded. We have 3 pages of things that we're working on for the community. Not any of these are our songs, by the way. But it's very satisfying, to say the
yeah,
very least.
well, it's nice to be able to work with people that, couldn't afford to go into a really big studio
Yeah.
and pay the amount of money that large studios are wanting. A really good large studio is going to be at least a couple $100 an hour,
Yeah.
or a couple $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
And we have all the stuff here to do all
We got
that.
all the gear.
We just don't
Yep.
have the gigantic room with the really high ceiling.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
But
Maybe someday.
it does work, and we can get great results.
Yep.
But it's really nice to be able to present something to somebody and then have them
Say Magnifico.
I believe
So fun.
when we had somebody in here, and they heard just what we'd done for the first time when we were with Luis,
Yeah.
and he heard where it was at, which was not even close to where it is now.
Right. It was just a really
It almost brought him
scratchy
to
mix.
tears, because here's something that was just your idea,
Yeah.
and now it's fully formed, and
Yeah.
it's something that could compete on a world stage.
Right.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it's being able to give them an opportunity to do that where they couldn't do that on their own.
Right.
So
Shirley's checking 5 songs. Just checking.
was it 5 songs?
Well, you said 4, and I was like,
well, I lose count. Okay.
it's okay. No problem. Yep. And so this coming week, we typically would have had, moving on to other things, we would have had open mic this week, but we had it last week just because stuff's going on at Pollyanna. So we don't get actually back to Pollyanna until November 16th. And then we'll have it on the 30th as well.
But you know
So
what
for
it gives
those-
me time to do?
Dave's songs.
Yes, I can start really
I
diving.
can sense in the future that Dave's songs will be done.
Well, yes,
Yes.
hopefully in the near future. We just got to get past this week. This is
This is a tough week.
This is a killer week because
Oh, that's right. We got a gig.
yeah, we've got multiple rehearsals and more people in the studio and
Yep.
then a gig on Saturday.
Yeah, and a new microphone. Hey, very quickly. I know we don't have tons of time, but now I think we're up to the big 50
Could be.
number
I
of mics.
bought
So I think he's way addicted. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. This
If
man's addicted.
if anybody was a geek and I said I have a U67 now, they'd go, "Oh, one of the all-time classics." There's like 5 all-time classic microphones. The U47,
47,
we
yes,
have that.
which we have.
U67,
Yes.
the C12,
Yeah.
the 251, and what would be the last one? I don't know. I don't think it would be an 87. Anyway, at least those are big 4.
Aw.
And now we have we don't have a C12 or a 251.
Oh, I guess we'll have to work on that.
251s, real 251s right now are selling for $25,000.
Ah, no.
And all of them need to be rebuilt because the capsule's in good condition. They were like encapsulated in this plastic. They put all the electronics in this plastic thing,
Mm-hmm.
and the plastic over the years since 1960 or 50s when they were made, it's disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nightmare. But anyway, I always have these hopes of getting more and more. But
We'll have to have another review of mics at some point. Like do a yearly review of all your
Well,
mics.
maybe some week we'll have a show and tell because people are like, "Oh, I would love to know what that looks like," and I can say, well, "This is a
I know. I think there's a lot of
U47," and
geary people out there. So I think that
yeah,
makes sense.
I know Gary is not a geary person. He
He's a
hates gear.
Geary.
Anyway, okay. So tonight's topic is you.
Is me?
It's you.
I thought it was a cooking show.
No, this is not a cooking show, but we are cooking. So hopefully tonight we can answer a couple of the questions that are burning in the minds of all the people. Last week,
Burning. Did you ask them? Now you're scaring me.
last week you talked to me a little bit, and
Yeah.
we went through just a tiny little bit of the enormity of my talents. And so
I have
this week,
I have this much talent. Tom had, and all you guys know,
stop
Tom's
that.
talent
Stop
is like
that
this.
already. Okay.
I like this big.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay.
Hopefully I can get these in some type of order that makes sense. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. At what age did you start thinking about music? That music had any effect upon you? Do you remember an age that you were when suddenly, like, I really like this?
I kind of think
Don't go to nursery rhymes. It has to be when you were actually over 5.
here's the thing is I grew up all around music. So it wasn't me doing the music, but it was me like experiencing the music. So I would dance with the music and this kind of stuff. But I really started getting into my mom had records that were basically in 3 types, well, maybe 4 types. We had classical music like Tchaikovsky and, the
Rachmaninoff.
Rachmaninoff. We had all
favorites.
kinds of things like that because my dad was in love with that kind of stuff. We had musicals. So we had My Fair Lady and Sound of Music and Carousel and some of the other ones, Fiddler on the Roof. And my mom would play records all the time. Records were a big thing in our house. Then we had, so it was musicals, it was classical music, it was easy listening. And then my mom listened to, like, I'm not sure a lot of people would know this, but like George Beverly Shea, like gospel music. And
He worked with Billy Graham, did he
he
not?
did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a lot of just that music, and that was it. Like my mom controlled the radio and the turntable. When I could work the turntable, and I don't necessarily remember when that was, I dove in to Sound of Music, My Fair Lady, and because you didn't necessarily have all the lyrics on the sheet, I don't even know where that would have gone. I took records, exactly where that record or that piece started, that I liked, and I would bring it up, put it down, bring it up, put it down, and I was writing madly all of the lyrics, and then I would
I remember doing that.
take
type
the
of thing.
lyrics, and then I would put it on, and then I would sing it over and over. I'm sure that I drove everybody mad in the house, but it would be over and over and over and over and over and over until I memorized it. And actually, some of those I still have memorized today. I might like mix up a few words here or there, but so I think it would have been whenever I could manage the turntable, because no one else would have done that for me. My mom certainly wouldn't have done that, or no one else. So probably junior high, something like that,
Okay.
was when I really kind of got into the
Started-
singing part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have any mentors? Anybody who played a role in your life? I mean, besides me. We're not talking about me
Oh
tonight.
yeah. Oh yeah. You're my mentor. There's this gentleman called Mr. Goodling, and I didn't know this, but at the time that I met him, he was very, very new to his role. It was in high school. He was the choir teacher, the chorus, the musical, did a lot of the musicals. And I was in band at that time, it was 10th grade, and I was so tired of being in band. And I don't know how he knew about me, but he contacted me one day and said, "Hey, we need an alto to go down." I live near the Eastman Theater in Rochester. It's huge. Like there's opera and whatever else is down in Rochester. And they were putting on this Pops concert, and it was oh gosh, he's a very, very famous conductor. I forget his name now, but I got to I was
Like
pulled
Leonard
out.
Bernstein or something like
I
that,
don't
or
remember honestly. But it was the Pops concert, but they needed a corresponding choir, and so Mr. Goodling had such great connections with Eastman Philharmonic Orchestra that he just pulled me, and I learned all this music. I did the alto parts, and I just fit right in, and at that moment I was pulled into singing, and I stopped doing the band. I ended up going into concert choir and show choirs and musicals, and it was like the most magical time of my life.
well, that brings up the question: where did you learn harmony? Because altos typically are not singing the melody.
So, one of the big things about me growing up is, I spent, Sunday morning, Sunday evening, Wednesday evening, and any other time possible at church. So, you're talking about numerous times where I'm singing with my mom, who is a avid soprano. She's amazing. And she's got a very loud voice. Everybody can hear her. She's just so loud. And my sister was on the other side typically, and I was in the middle, and my sister's singing soprano. So soprano, soprano, and I was never able to hit the same thing. So my mom would show me kind of in the hymnal, like what, so she taught me like sing that note, and she would kind of say,
How would you know
sing it.
what that note was?
She would sing it a little bit to me, and
Oh,
then I'd
okay.
figure it out. Yeah, that's how I did it. And I mean, it wasn't by looking at anything necessarily. I didn't even know what range I was in. I had no clue. Um, but I also knew that I couldn't hit my sister's notes, and I couldn't hit my mom. My sister's 2 years older than me. But I could somehow go kind of in the middle somewhere, and I could figure it out. And so, yeah, I didn't really get a lot of training. That wasn't like I went to vocal lessons or anything. It was all by just hearing, and that was it.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
A little bit of self-taught.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then when I went into choir in high school, I was an alto, and there was there was a lot of really cool, because I was in concert choir, so they were really working us hard on learning alto parts and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. Almost probably best time of my life. Not that right now isn't like the coolest, but it was just,
Well,
there are no concerns.
There was something about high school years that's always, well, for many people it was special. For some people it was absolute horribleness.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were
I was
somewhat
in, yeah.
If you had lots of friends and you were in, then it wasn't so bad.
You still think I was in? I really wasn't.
I don't
really
know.
Wasn't.
When we traveled to Rochester, there seems to be enough people that know who you are.
Yeah. But I got to be in theater, in musicals, the show choir, the concert choir. I was brought in to do theater stuff, just to do singing. I had to learn I forget, it was like a Chicago song.
Okay, we're like 2 questions and I have 15.
Is this a cooking show?
It's a cooking show. Do you have any early influences? Somebody you listened to that you aspired to be like?
Oh, besides Julie Andrews?
Well, that could be who it is.
It's Julie Andrews. I also wanted to be a nun. It didn't really work out that well, but probably.
Nuns don't typically get married.
So you have to go back to this, that my mom pretty much owned the music selection. She had John Denver. She liked John Denver until John Denver got a divorce. And then that was like, he went into the bad book. Bye. So I would be out in the backyard singing John Denver songs. I am the eagle, I live in high country. You guys, man, I was such a nerdy kid in so many ways. But it was John Denver, Kenny Rogers.
You gotta know when to hold 'em.
Know when to fold 'em. It's true.
Ruby. Gonna
Yeah,
take your
yeah.
love to town.
So Kenny
There you go.
Rogers, Barbara Streisand, Barbara.
Baba,
Let's
Baba.
see here. It was the time I grew up that it was, Grease came out, and so Olivia Newton-John, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Were you always writing stories when you were young? Because you're with lyrics, the question is, how did you get into writing words, for music? Did it start as stories? Did you write stories in your head or something like that? Or how did that all begin?
I actually would just pick up anything around the house, whatever you were doing, and I would sing it. So if it was like, we're making cookies today, we're making cookies today. We got the chocolate chips and the peanut butter. We're just whatever.
The rhyme
So
wasn't there.
I know, but that wasn't rhyming time yet. No, I think that was probably more like it. I did read a lot though. I read a lot of approved Harlequin romances. I read a lot of Nancy Drew and Trixie Belden and Hardy Boys, mysteries, lots of romance, Japanese kind of novels and stuff, which is kind of weird if I think about it. I think there was always something going on in my head about, making things up, because I do love making up
So you've
stories.
always been
Yeah.
creative in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, can I tell you one story real quick? Is I worked as a waitress, and some of the girls were having problems with their boyfriends, and they'd come up to me and say, "I need a poem. Can you give me a poem?" And so I'd say, "Well, tell me this issue." And then really quick, I would get out one of those little napkins, just like a drink napkin, and I would quickly write something up, and I'd give it to them like, "Thank you so much." And then they would go and they would give it to their boyfriend, and then they would make up, and I just wrote this for you, honey.
Was
This is
it
a beautiful poem.
was it like, is it Cyrano de Bergerac or whatever that did that same kind of thing?
Yes, yes. Who is Heavenly Soldier? Is it Chris? It is Chris. Yeah.
Oh, very
Okay.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got that. So basically, you are always writing, and you always have been writing and creating things in your head.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, moving on. Okay. Is there any particular way you write? Do you have like a set thing? Like, do you keep a notebook with you everywhere you go and you scribble down ideas? I have a phone, and every time I come up with a musical idea, I record it on my phone. And there's like 600 ideas over the last few years
Mhm.
that I have on my phone.
Yeah.
Do you have something
Yeah.
like that you do?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really not disciplined in that way. I have probably around 10 journals that are half filled. And a lot of stuff I look through and I go, "Oh my gosh, I'm such a whiner." Or, I kind of audit what I do, and I kind of like tease it out so the cream comes to the top, kind of. I have notes on my phone. And I think though what really is kind of cool, what happens is like there'll be a theme that's kind of running through my life, and if we don't write immediately, they'll bubble up into a lot of different kinds of ways in different things that I'm writing. And then all of a sudden it congeals when I get up into the mic, and you have you have something that, some guitar lick or mandolin part that you've done. And I just go up to the mic, and having all this stuff in my head, I just get up and I sing.
All right. Are you
So
writing from personal experience, or are you writing from somewhere else, imagination?
I think it's definitely both, around kind of either what has happened to me or what the feelings were I was going through something at the time, or the state of the world and how I feel about it, and how I think other people might feel about it. Um, tensions. I like the idea of tensions and tensions between someone thinking this way and someone's thinking that way, and the idea of miscommunication that happens. So that's probably something that I bring from my past a little bit is I think a lot of the arguments I've always had with family and other people are kind of that way.
Are you argumentative and combative?
Those are my best parts of my personality.
All right, now we're going to take the way back time machine right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to look back, was there anything that might have held you back? Was there anything that you could think of in your life that held you back from getting to where you are, even at this point in time?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the very first thing that I wanted to be was an ice skater. That was like the number one. It was so expressive, and I love ballet. And I grew up in New York, where if it snows, you immediately go to the hills and you ski, or you find some outdoor. You don't do that here in Illinois, but you find something to do in the wintertime. And I used to go skating at this little pond in Churchville, and
Could you
it's
skate
like
backwards?
it was Black Creek Pond. Yeah, I can still do it backwards. Yeah.
I was going to say I can still
Skate
do
backwards.
backflips, and I was like, once.
But that's what I really wanted to do. And so there wasn't a lot of money. So I think money kind of got in the way of me kind of doing what I wanted to do. And then when it got into music and that kind of creativity, um, I think the thing that really got in my way was when I had a skiing accident when I was 17 and I banged up my neck and my back. So you all don't know this, but for the most of my life, I've been in some kind of pain.
Well, that now you're answering one of my questions.
Oh, I thought you
One of my
wanted to
next
know. So that
questions.
was kind of a big thing for me. And being able to not do kind of the things that I would like to do, like horseback riding or water skiing or all kinds of other things. So yeah.
If you were to look back on your life, would there have been anything that you would have changed? That, like, maybe it was the skiing thing. Would you have gone back and said to yourself, "Nah, don't do that. That's a bad idea"? Or
Well,
do you think
I think it's
things
kind
just
of hard to do
happen?
that. I think it's kind of hard to do that because I learned so much. I believe I can connect with other people who are going through pain because of what I had gone through. So it's like you take that away, and then what kind of person would I have been? And would I have been that intuitive? Would I have slowed myself down enough to feel the pain of other people? So,
That
and the
things
stories
that
wouldn't be as
happen to
rich.
you make you who you are, and
Yeah,
that's
the stories aren't as rich in my head, I don't think, because I can look at someone and go, oh, that's got to be really awful. So, yeah, I'm not sure I would change that. I probably would have not been afraid to bend the lead in Once Upon a Mattress musical. I would have gone for it. I was up between me and this other girl named Darlene, and yes, she's amazing. Darlene Graham was her name. And
does she
I
play
was only
piano and flute at all?
no, 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 not at all. But I let it go because I was like not sure of myself. I was going to go into 11th grade and I wasn't sure of myself. So
So it was
it was
a
between her
confidence thing.
and I decided not to give it my all in the last part of the audition, and I let it go. I mean, I did. I let myself fail.
You kind of sabotaged
I did.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I probably would change that, and I would have got the gumption enough to do it because
Okay.
I probably would have been really good at it.
Final question.
Final question. I'll take
Is there anything? Well, you kind
gardening
of
for 200.
is there something about you that nobody knows that you already said about that you were in a skiing accident?
I have 6 toes. No, that's not true. I do know someone who had 6 toes or has.
Had, I think.
Is it had? Okay.
Yeah.
Something that people don't know about me. I got a nail in my foot once. I was playing around some boards, and I always had problems with the fact that I hated shoes. Still do. And so I ran around the backyard, and I got my, yeah, it wasn't a pleasing moment from me, but it was memorable. It was a memorable one.
Would
So
it,
I now wear shoes
yeah, okay, I was gonna say,
outside.
did you learn anything from that?
I learned to wear shoes. Yes. But that
Okay.
was it.
All right. I hope you learned something impressive and important about Heather tonight. And thank you for being our subject of this evening.
I enjoyed. I wanted to be very serious tonight, and I hope you experienced my seriousness this evening.
Yeah. So
Yes.
again, this is Tom and Heather.
What happened to other four toes? They lived.
But thanks for being with us tonight.
We love you all. Thanks so much for hanging with us and for being encouraging to us. We really appreciate that.
Maybe we'll play show and tell next week or something like that.
Yes, with the microphones. Okay, please like, share, subscribe to our channel. We'd love for you to tell other people about us and our music. And we have a show this weekend, Saturday night at Pollyanna in Roselle. Starts at 7 to 10, and we'll be playing our Bohemian Americana Swampgrass. So hopefully you guys can come out to see us if you're in town.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, we'll see you all later. Have a great rest of your evening and a fantastic week.
Thanks
Talk
for
to you
being
next
here.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye.